This is the CNC Router Tips Podcast, episode 26.
I don't know. I always seem to gravitate back to the CNC because, to me, as many of them as I've built, when you first get ready to fire it up for the first time, that just never gets old to me.
This is the CNC Router Tips Podcast, a show which answers one question from you, the listener, about CNC router tables, CNC software, hardware, web hosting, and business. I'll help you get started in your CNC hobby or business and help you cut through the confusion.
Today's episode is sponsored by themakersguide.com. The Maker's Guide. Useful tools for makers.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bill Griggs, your host for the CNC Router Tips Podcast. I'm looking forward to spending some time with you talking about CNC router tables and how you can use them to build your dreams. Now, I know that a lot of you have been thinking about getting into CNC and you want to get your own CNC router table. And for some of you, the hassle and the pain has been that you can't see your way to affording one. Well, there's a group of people who've gotten together to do something about that, to make your life easier. They teach you how to build your own CNC router table and offer plans for them. And one of those people is Dave Gatton, our guest today. Dave Gatton has quite a following on YouTube, where he shows people how to build the CNC router table on a shoestring budget. And I think you're going to enjoy what Dave has to say. And if you stick around for the entire episode, somewhere in here, Dave is going to be telling you how you can win a free CNC router table. Relax and enjoy this conversation with Dave Gatton of GarageWorksCNC.com. Hello, everyone. Bill Griggs from CNC Router Tips, and I'm fortunate to have today as guest Dave Gatton. And Dave has made quite a splash in the CNC world through his YouTube channel, where he talks about how to make CNC machines inexpensively. And, many people in our Facebook group have been talking about how they've built one of Dave's machines, the CNC Sidewinder or Sidewinder CNC machine. And I'm really looking forward to talking with Dave, and I hope you enjoy the show. How are you doing today, Dave?
I'm doing great, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing well. Where in the world are you?
I'm in McDonough, Georgia. That is about 30 minutes southeast of Atlanta.
Okay. I have a sister in Georgia, a little place called Social Circle.
Oh, that's not all that far from here.
Yeah.
I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah, it's a very pretty area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now, how long have you been doing CNC projects? Yep.
Well, I have been piddling around with CNC really for a really long time. Not so much my own, but I have been programming CNC equipment, lasers, and turret presses, and that kind of thing. My career, I guess, has been kind of in the sheet metal industry, sheet metal fabrication. So I've always worked around CNC lasers and water jets, and that kind of thing. And so I've been doing that a long time. And then I guess somewhere around 10 years ago,
mm-hmm.
I was just, how you are when you're sitting around at your boring job and you're trying to think of something that you could do that would be more fun. And I thought of a few things that I would like to try to make and kind of sell on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to thinking of those things, I thought, well, there's a lot of different ways I could do it. I could maybe make some templates and, by hand and, use a hand router and stuff like that. And then I thought, well, I know how to program CNC stuff, so why not try to see if I could buy a CNC machine? So at that time, I got to looking online on eBay and different things. And, of course, this was, like I said, about 10 years or so ago.
Yeah,
And,
that's about when I got started too. Yeah.
and everything was kind of pricey. I mean, you could find some things that were not too bad, but then they just didn't look like they were well made.
Yeah.
And if you found something that looked like it was really well made, it was like way out of my league, as far as price.
Yeah, it was a strange. It was a strange time then back in eBay, because you could come across a deal where you might find a really expensive ball screw unit for maybe $25 because nobody knew what it was, and then get a pulley for something, and that was $300.
Exactly. And plus, trying to shop off of eBay like that too, it's kind of hard to find exactly the components you need to go together.
Yeah.
And like you say, you get a good deal on one thing and then you find something else and it's just out of sight. So, but anyway, I had started to look around at machines and really got kind of frustrated because I wasn't happy with what I was seeing. And I thought, well, hey, Dave, you're a sheet metal guy. Why don't you just try to design your own? So I started working on my own design, and that's how, to me, that's the best way to learn what works and what doesn't work. Because when you design something like that, you can find out, well, I should have made this more of a box frame because it's not sturdy enough, it's got too much flex, or that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I built a few of those, and then I kind of, learning a little bit after each one, and then I kind of refined my design. And actually, I guess back in those days too, most of the ones that I saw used 3 motors, whether it be stepper motors or servo motors, and they had the X, Y, and the Z, and then of course the Y would be just like a single lead screw or something, however, what kind of linear motion they were using. Mm-hmm. Running down the middle. And when I tried building them like that, I thought, well, that works great if your router's right in the middle. But once you get off to the side, you tend to get some racking. So I didn't like that design. And one day I was at work, and I was out in watching the laser run. It's a big 4,000 watt laser. Mm-hmm. And I was just kind of staring at that thing, and then all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, well, no wonder that thing can move so fast and so accurate, is because it's got screws on both sides. So I thought, well, I'm going to try to design a small bench top that way, even though you got to buy an extra stepper motor and have a 4-axis controller and that kind of thing. So I designed one up that way, and I use SolidWorks to do my 3D design.
Mm-hmm. Had you been using SolidWorks prior to that?
I've been using, not really. Well, when I first started drawing that particular machine up, I had already been using SolidWorks for just, I don't know, maybe a year or so. I've been using SolidWorks now for almost, I guess, 9 years, something like that. But anyway, after I got that one designed, and I thought, well, I don't know if this thing's going to work or not. I think it will. It looks good on paper. And I thought, well, I'll try it out. So I got a set of parts, and I put that thing together. And I knew I had really hit on something then, because it really worked smooth. It didn't rack. It wasn't the fastest thing in the world. But to me, I'm watching a CNC do those rapid moves really quick, that's impressive. But to me, it doesn't matter if it can do that and still not cut accurate. So I was very pleased with the results I got with it, and I thought, well, this is the one I need to try to sell. So I started selling those things, and then I had people ask me, because my machine was made out of steel. They said, well, I'd really like to be able to take my hand plasma torch and put on that thing. Could I do that? So that got me to thinking too. So then I kind of went back to the drawing board and designed some brackets that would fit on the inside of the frame on the front and the rear, and then just made some slats. And so I kind of came up with what I used to call my router plasma combo, for lack of a better term. But you could, put a router on it and use it to cut wood or plastic or whatever. And then if you wanted to try to cut some steel with a plasma torch, you could pull those C channels out that form the table and just drop in those slats, and then you could actually use it to cut steel.
Now, that you didn't have to worry about ruining the spoil board because you removed that, or?
Well, that's before I started putting a spoil board on them. Basically, when I sold those machines, I mean, usually the end user would make their own spoil board out of MDF or maybe plywood or something. But what I provided on the machine was like 5 C channels that, went across at various, I don't know what they were, 4 inches on center or something like that. And then there were several holes that were 1/4-20 tapped holes, so they could use that to put in a hold down clamp.
Okay. Yeah, see, you're talking about a machine that was earlier than the ones that I've seen, so this is kind of interesting to me. I had not seen the steel versions of these machines. The ones that I'd seen mostly were your wooden machines, which I guess are a later machine.
Yeah, that came later. The steel one, if you ever watch any of my YouTube videos where I'm using you'll see a CNC on the back end of my shop that has Sidewinder CNC on it. And it's a machine tool gray. It has a cutting area of about 40 inches by 26 inches. Mm-hmm. And I use that quite a bit. And in fact, that kind of leads to the story of the other the wooden CNCs. Because as I started doing YouTube videos, sometimes, when I'm making a project, I might use the CNC for templates, or sometimes I use it to do the whole project, or sometimes I don't use it at all. It just depends. Mm-hmm. But there would be videos where I might use the CNC for part of the project, and invariably there'd be somebody that would leave a comment and they would say, well, yeah, that's easy for you. You got a CNC. And, I just kind of took it in stride and everything. But finally, after a while, that's kind of started getting to me, because I'm thinking, this CNC stuff, it's really not rocket science. I really think anybody can do it. And so at the end of one of my videos one time, I don't know what got into me. Something hit me, and I said, okay, I've been getting some comments about the CNC here lately. I said, if there's anybody out there that wants to try to build their own CNC, leave a comment down below or send me an email. And if I get enough interest, I'll do a video series on how to build your own CNC, inexpensively. Mm-hmm. And wow, I just opened a can of worms when I said that, because I just got all kinds of people emailing me and leaving comments saying, yeah, I want to know how to build one. So then I thought, okay, well, I guess I got to do this now since I said it.
Now, the series that you're referring to, I think, is the YouTube series, How to Build a CNC Router on a Shoestring Budget.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So then I had to try to come up with, how am I going to do this? So I thought, well, I need to make it out of wood, because most people, can manufacture, or I should say, fabricate their own wood parts. So I, designed it out of birch plywood, because that's a good stable material to use. And, the V-groove bearings work pretty good on the angle and all that. So I just designed a small one and, did the series. I think it's like, I don't know, total, I think it's about 13 videos, but I think I had the whole thing built in about 5 videos. And, I just tried to break it down as to make it as simple as I possibly could, showing people that, here's how I do it. And, here's the components I'm buying. Here's the part number. Here's the vendor. Everything about it, I went into detail about. And if they didn't want to use the same stepper motors that I use, that's fine. They could, shop around and get whatever they wanted. But, as far as some of the components, like I said, by that time I had built, over 100 CNCs. So I kind of knew what really worked good. And I'm the type of guy that's, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So,
right.
I started, I put the plans together. I did that video series, and then I finally got the plans all detailed, which really took me a lot of time because, usually when I draw plans to take out to my shop for a project that I'm going to do, there's a lot of things I can leave off because I don't have to have it real detailed because it's all in my head. Mm-hmm. But when you're going to offer plans to somebody else, you have to remember that they don't know what you're thinking about or what you're talking about here. So you really got to go into detail. So the plans show pretty much every nut, bolt, washer, Acme nut, whatever it might be. It's all in those plans showing them how to do it. And so, then I started getting requests for the plans and I get, the rest is history, I guess you say. Because I still today, I did that series almost 2 years ago. And every day I come home from work and spend probably an hour or so on a computer emailing out plans that people have requested during the day.
One of the good things about the way that you did that is, you did all your drawings in SolidWorks, and that, it's a parametric modeling software, so it can generate a bill of materials for you.
Exactly.
So you don't have to remember every nut and bolt. You just have to make sure you drew them all in. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's one of the great things I love about SolidWorks is, when if you put it in your model, whether it be a nut or washer or whatever, and then you do a bill of materials on that assembly page, it's going to show up and take, it keeps track of all the stuff for you. It says, okay, you need 32 washers and whatever, it's so you don't have to sit there and go back and count everything. So it really makes it easy to do it. Plus you can do a lot of detailed views. Like there's some places where you have to kind of do a detailed view zoomed in where you're showing, okay, you put the V-groove bearing, then you put 2 washers, then you put a nut, mm-hmm. the order of things so that they can see how to do it. And apparently, from what I've been told, they were pretty good plans because there's a lot of those little wooden machines out there right now, I think.
Now, let's talk about that. Now, you weren't charging anything for the plans either, were you?
No. All they got to do is send me an email and request them, and I'm happy to send them to them.
Yeah, it's the freemium model, and if somebody wanted to buy some of the parts, were you making them at that time?
No, and that's kind of why this new project has started out, Bill. Mm-hmm. I have, like I said, I did that video series almost 2 years ago, mm-hmm. and it seems like for every, 10 sets of plans I send out, I get 1 or 2 emails back saying, well, I really want to build this thing, but I just don't feel comfortable trying to make the parts with just a bandsaw or a scroll saw or whatever. And, do you cut the parts and sell kits? And, I just don't have the time. And plus that's not really what I wanted to do. I didn't create that to be able to sell plywood kits for a CNC. Like I said, the plans are very detailed. There's full scale DXF files that they can take to like Kinko's or wherever and get them printed out full scale and use that as a paper template. Mm-hmm. And I know what a lot of people have done, or at least this is what they've told me, is they use a bandsaw and a scroll saw or whatever they might have in their shop to make the parts. And then once they get the machine built, then they turn around and take those full-scale DXFs and recut using that CNC that they built and then swap out the parts.
Yeah, I ended up doing that when I built my 4x4 hybrid, making the MDF carriages and then going back later after my machine was built. And, you cut better ones and you put them on there and they look much better and you feel great because the machine helped to make itself.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
Now, let's back up a second before we go into to talk about your latest product or your latest project. You mentioned that you started doing YouTube channels. Tell me about what kind of led into that. YouTube is still a fairly young technology. What drove you to put videos up online?
Well, I have to confess, Bill, I am a avid YouTube fan. I not only am a content creator, but I spend probably way more time than I should watching YouTube videos.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, I and that's kind of what got me thinking about it. I mean, I've watched YouTube videos for a long, long time, and I never really thought about getting in front of a camera because I've always been kind of a shy person, and I just never really thought about it. But then I don't know what, I was watching a video and I saw somebody do something, and I don't even remember what video it was, but I thought, well, you know what, I should probably try to do that because I'm out in my shop anyway, building stuff. So why not get a camera and set it on a tripod and film it and maybe try this YouTube thing. Mm-hmm. But so that's kind of what got that going, and it's just if you watch my videos, and I always tell people this because they say, oh, I like your videos and stuff, but I am not very, what I say, polished. I'm just an old country boy standing in front of a camera trying to tell people, how I do things. It may not be the right way or the best way, but I'm just kind of showing people how I do things. And when you look at my earlier videos too, I tried to stick with things that I knew a little something about. Like I did, I think one of my very first videos was a little homemade rotary axis, kind of like a lathe attachment for a CNC. I made just kind of a prototype out of MDF, and I was just trying to demonstrate how, if you're using a 4-axis kit, which I do, you really don't have to. You can set up a different profile, a machine profile in Mach 3, and then set that little attachment on the bed of your CNC, clamp it down, bring the Y-axis to get it over center and, get it all lined up. And then you could actually unplug one of those motors and plug it into the motor, unplug the wire from the Y-axis motor.
Make sure it's powered down first.
Yeah, make sure it's powered down first, exactly.
Yep.
And then plug it into. I bought an extra motor to keep on the. And really, I didn't have to do that. I could have taken the motor off, but I thought, well, I'll go ahead and buy an extra motor.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Keep it on that little rotor thing, and then just plug it in, and then restart Mach 3 with that different profile. And then I did a very simple little, I just had a piece of dowel, like 1.25 dowel or something laying around in the shop. And that was, I think, my first video, just showing people how to do the, and also it was my first attempt at trying the wrapping feature in VCarve Pro. I'd never used that before, so I kind of had to learn that myself before I went out there to shoot that video.
Yeah, there are so many features built into VCarve Pro and Aspire that the average person never gets a chance to use because they don't have all the equipment to do it. But wrapping is one of those things where you're wrapping a tool path around the outside of a cylinder, so when you carve it away, you're left with a 3D object on a cylinder. Yeah,
I think, and like I said, that video, I think what I had learned to do is I actually used a V-groove bit and put Sidewinder CNC 3 different places on that on that dial. So it wasn't anything real spectacular to look at, but it was mostly just to show that you could do it with that 4-axis CNC or 4-axis controller kit that I have.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen some fellas got plans for a 4th axis that actually rolls with the carriage along a toothed rack and pinion back and forth and with the gantry? Have you seen that?
I have not seen that.
Yeah, it causes the rotation. Yeah.
Usually they're kind of hanging off the front or either hanging off to one side.
Yeah, this one, as the gantry moved forward, it would spin the dowel for you, so it'd be cutting in another place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. There are so many videos out there. I'm a YouTube junkie as well. I remember when I got started, I had a digital video camera that used cassettes, and so after you shot your video, then you had to take it in, load it into a photo editing program to download it. Then you had to edit it, and then you had to upload it to YouTube. And it was such a long, tedious process that I have literally thousands of hours of film that never got on YouTube because of that.
Right. Yeah. For my first, let's see, I've been doing the YouTube videos. I consider my YouTube anniversary really April 2012. I had a couple of videos just of my machines, but there was no audio or anything, just kind of showing the machine moving around. So I've been doing that for, I guess almost 4 years now. But for the first 3+ years, my video equipment consisted of a $75 flip video kit. It's almost like a smartphone. It's not even as big as a smartphone, but it worked good for me because, like I said, I'm not into photography and all that stuff. So it just had one big red button where I pushed the button, I turned it on, I go walk around in front. When I get down, I come around, push the same red button. So it kept it very simple. But I did upgrade to a Canon T5i, I think is what the thing is I use now. So I do have much better video and audio, but it's still the same old country boy standing in front of it.
So one thing that I kind of would like to talk to you about, you're doing a YouTube channel, and you're getting quite a few views. Many people don't know that you can monetize or make a little bit of money from having YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's correct. And in my case, the key word there is little. I mean, it takes a long time. I can remember because originally that was kind of my thinking. I thought, well, shoot, I'll do these YouTube videos and I'll make a bunch of money and I'll be able to retire. And then the realization kind of slapped me in the face because I'm thinking, oh gosh, you got to have a heck of a lot of views to really make any kind of money on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
But finally, after I don't know why, but I stuck with it because I went for a long time, never made a nickel. But you kind of get hooked. I think what does it is once you start putting some videos on and even if, in my case, even if the audio and the video quality isn't the greatest, if you just do a project that's interesting, you get people that will, watch it and ask you questions about it and comment about it. And that's kind of what gets you hooked, I think, is you get these comments and you think to yourself, gosh, there's really people that want to watch the stuff I'm putting out there.
Yeah.
And then after a while, it just kind of snowballs. Right now I'm at, on my Dave Gatton channel, I think I just turned 19,000 subscribers, last Sunday, I think, 2 days ago. So
congratulations.
It's, now that, to me, that's still pretty small potatoes because I know there's a whole bunch of people out there with way more than that. But I never would have guessed that I'd have that many subscribers. It's just, and what's cool is you get loyal subscribers too. There's people, I feel like I know them. I mean, I've never met them, never talked to them on the phone or anything like that, but you feel like you know them because they comment on your videos almost every time you put a video up. They kind of give you encouragement and kind of, make you want to get out there and make another video. So.
Yeah, it's funny. The first time you get an email from somebody or a comment that says, hey, I wish you'd make more videos, or, it's been a while, would you put another one out?
Yeah, and especially with the CNC stuff is that, like I said, the how to build a CNC on a shoestring budget, that I had that CNC built after 5 videos. But then it's like, people would comment and go, well, can you show us how you did this? Or can you talk about, how to zero it, or how to, whatever it might be. So then you go, okay, well, I'll do another video and do that. And then you do that video, and then somebody else comes up and says, well, can you show us how you did this? So it just kind of, okay, I'll do another one, And before long, I think that, like I said, I think I did like 13 videos for that series.
Yeah, I've literally got, a ton of videos sitting on the computer waiting for the bottleneck to clear, and that bottleneck is me, to edit them and get them out there. And to be honest, if I just took the videos and put them out there unedited, it would probably be fine with the YouTube viewers. But, I kind of like to have a nicer video than that, so that you're not seeing me sand the same piece of wood for 20 minutes.
Right, right.
Nobody wants to see that.
So. Yeah, it's and again, I think that's why I bought a new camera, a few months ago, is I wanted to try to up my game a little bit, because I'd had some comments on my older videos about my audio and the video might not be as clear, or maybe shaky or something like that. And I wanted to try to improve, but I'm still I guess I'm just old school when it comes to watching YouTube videos. Is, to me, I'll watch somebody, I don't really care how crummy the video and audio is. If they're making something that's really cool, I'm watching it to the end.
Today's episode is sponsored by The Maker's Guide, creator of the Triple Edge Finder. Get the edge you need, save time and frustration on your CNC project, and make setup a snap. Save time and material. Set up your workpiece on your CNC router table faster than ever. Accurately set your Z-axis height first time, every time. Automatically locate the corner or edge of a workpiece. Reset your starting point in the middle of a program. Quality crafted right here in the USA on US-made CNC machines. Get the edge you need today. Go to www.themakersguide.com/edge. The Maker's Guide. Useful tools for makers.
I guess I'm just old school when it comes to watching YouTube videos. Is, to me, I'll watch somebody, I don't really care how crummy the video and audio is. If they're making something that's really cool, I'm watching it to the end. Now, there's a lot of people that have really nice videos, super editing and special effects and all that stuff. And those are fun to watch too. But to me, if the content's not something that's interesting, I probably won't watch it to the end.
Yeah. I think
that's just me,
I probably my most popular video is me changing the gears off on a milling machine to a belt drive. And, that's a couple of hours worth of process, and you really can't shortcut it a whole lot. And I keep wondering, who's going to watch this? But time and time again, they say, oh, well, I wondered what went into that. And now I know, because I saw the whole process. And so there is that aspect of it. And, what you're doing is valuable to people. It's information, it's knowledge that they wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah. I tell you, I love YouTube as far as being able to learn things. And just yesterday at work, the guy that was running an old manual mill, I stopped in and was talking to him, and he says, man, this thing's not cutting right. He says, I'm trying to adjust the tilt on it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I don't really know anything about manual milling machines, but I said, hey, you know what? I said, I'm going to go back and I'll search it on YouTube. I said, I bet we can find something. And sure enough, we found the perfect video that showed, I guess they call it tramming, because he had to do both the tilt front and back and side to side.
Yeah.
And so we watched that, about a 10-minute video, and he went back out there, got it adjusted perfect. And now the thing is working better than ever. It's like a brand new machine.
Yeah.
But somehow it had got out, and he had like a little step when he was milling.
Mm-hmm. And it's really hard to figure out at first. Where is it coming from? You have to look at what direction the cut is in, and lots of things. So tramming ahead is on a milling machine is one of those things that you have to learn, but hope that you don't have to use too often.
Right.
Yeah. So you've got your first batch of machines out. You've got your first set of plans out for the other machine. Were you able to? Was it worth your while?
Well, how exactly do you mean that?
From a monetary standpoint, because this is kind of part of a series, about people, taking these projects and seeing how to build businesses and things like that.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I guess it was. As far as the YouTube thing, like I said, you have to have a lot of views, a lot of subscribers to make any decent kind of money. I make enough money with YouTube now that, or I guess it's the Google AdSense or whatever it is that really, the ad revenue, that will pay for whatever project I want to do. So like, the trip to Lowe's buying, sheets of plywood and stuff's not coming out of my pocket now. YouTube will at least, pay me enough to cover most of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So. And again, it just depends on the project that I'm building, how big it is. But yeah, it's at least it's paying for itself as a hobby. Mm-hmm. Now the machines and stuff, of course I've got this new project going now, so I'm hoping that it's going to keep doing well. It's kind of really taken off, kind of like I thought it would, actually. I'm not real surprised because, like I said, when I was doing those, sending out the plans for those wooden CNCs, I'd always get people wanting kits. Can you cut the parts for me? I want a kit. And, I thought, man, if I was to go back and design, another metal one where I could just have a fabricator make the parts and then sell that as a kit and just kind of give them a good foundation to build a CNC. And they could do, either as much of it as they wanted, if they wanted to buy their own lead screws and things and cut them themselves and all that, and save themselves some money. So that's what I call it. I kind of call it, it's a DIY kit, because basically all I want to do is be able to sell what I call the rolling chassis, which is just kind of the V-groove bearings and all the sheet metal components and hardware, where it's ready to add lead screws, Acme nuts, and stepper motors and a controller, and you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And you made this out of steel this time?
Yes, this is all steel. I found that after working with those wooden ones, they use the big V-groove bearings where you put like a 3/8 bolt in those. And then I thought, well, if that's running on angle that's about an 1/8 inch. So I thought, well, I wonder if there's a good V-groove bearing out there that's smaller and less expensive, and you could just run it on a piece of thinner metal, And so basically what my rails are on these machines is they're just a flat piece of steel that's 16 gauge, and then it's bolted to a channel to give it the rigidity that it needs. and the V groove runs on that 16 gauge steel, and it works like a charm. It's I again, when I design things in SolidWorks, I pretty much know that something's going to work, but until you build that first one, you always got that little bit of doubt in your mind. But when I built that prototype and put it through its paces, I'm like, yeah, this is it. There's no problem there.
How long did it take you from design concept to rolling chassis for the first one?
Well, working on it kind of off and on in my spare time, which, spare time is really a joke because I really don't have any. But I guess it probably took me maybe just a couple of weeks or so.
Okay, so it's pretty fast execution.
Yeah, and it's because, I knew kind of what I wanted to do, and what I do for a living anyway is I sit, in front of a computer and draw sheet metal parts in SolidWorks all day long. So, it doesn't take me long to draw something once I get it all fit together. And so I just kind of started drawing, and I knew about what size I wanted to draw. And then I thought, as I was drawing it, I thought, well, if this, if people seem interested in these kits, I'll probably offer 2 and maybe 3 different sizes. And right now I've got 2 sizes. I'm working on the 36 by 24 demo machine. I'm gonna get it fired up here in probably this weekend, and then I've also got everybody wants a really big machine, or at least what I think is really big. So I decided I would make the third and final one big enough that you could actually put a piece of plywood on there. It's not 4 by 8, but it's got a cutting area of I say 48 by 48, but I really made it where you could even put a piece of MDF on there, because I know MDF comes 49 wide. Mm-hmm. So it's so I made it where you could put a piece of that on, and of course if you used like a dead man stand on the back, you could put a full sheet on there and cut half of it and slide it through and cut the other half. And I told people that if you're really interested in that big one, and you want to make sure you get in on the first production run, let me know. Shoot me an email, let me know, and I'll start a waiting list. And I've already got 5 people on the waiting list, and I haven't even built one of those things yet.
Yeah, or figured out the price.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I had one guy tell me, he said he didn't really care what the price was. He wanted one. I'm like, well, okay. I'm the whole thing that I try to do is and I've always done this. I try to make a machine that people can afford. I don't try to build a really big fancy machine that somebody's going to use for commercial use. My thing is, if there's somebody that's got a little wood shop, whether it be a shed or a 2-car garage or a 1-car garage or whatever it might be, if they want a CNC in their shop, I'd like to see them get a CNC in their shop.
Yeah,
and that's the whole purpose for these little DIY kits is, I'll do the design and get it where I've got them a good foundation to build around, and if they want to put in a little sweat equity and learn some of the other things themselves, they'll have themselves a good CNC machine.
And is that where you come up with the name for the machine, Garage Works?
Yeah, I just wanted something that kind of reflected, where most of these I hope end up is in somebody's garage.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the idea of the cottage industry getting going again. Guys and gals in their garage doing whatever it is that they do to build up a product, and come up with something that, if it doesn't make them a living, at least can ease their living. Yeah.
And plus, it's always, it's not really work when you're out there doing something that you really love to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about I like to do other things too, just, with traditional woodworking tools. But I don't know. I always seem to gravitate back to the CNC because, to me, as many of them as I've built, when you first get ready to fire it up for the first time, that just never gets old to me.
Nope, it doesn't. Yeah, I haven't built as many as you, but I've built a few, and that's the day you're waiting for. And if you're building it at someone else's home, and they start it without you that first time, that's like an act of war. Man, I want to be there.
I know how you feel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, that first time you hit the power switch and you get ready to jog it around, it just never gets old.
Yeah. Oh, well, just today, I'm working on a conversion of a Grizzly milling machine to CNC, and just finished building up the control box for that thing, and it's taken me a couple of days actually to get up the nerve to plug it in and see whether the smoke's going to escape. Because once the smoke's gone, it doesn't work, and that's a bad thing. But I got around to it, and last night I turned it on for the first time, and everything worked fine, and the motors moved nice. So yeah, there's nothing like it.
Yep. And I got to tell you, Bill, I'm excited too. I watched. I'm a big fan. Can I do a plug here or not?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm a big fan of Russell Clarity's Let's Talk Shop with Russ, his little live stream show on Saturdays.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Anyway, he was doing a spotlight on, I hope I don't butcher his name too bad, Michael Mertzke, I think is his last name. But anyway, he had got one of those laser kits. I think he got a 2.8 watt laser kit from J-Tech Photonics. And it was like they had designed it to go on his X car. Mm-hmm. And so he was explaining that. And of course, it's still new to Mike. But when I saw that, when Russ posted that that's what the show was going to be about, I made sure that I was ready to watch that one. And I've been in contact with Jay over there at J-Tech. And I think you can probably look for one of those lasers on a GarageWorks CNC in the very near future.
Oh, very cool. It's a CO2 laser, or is it like a...
They are I believe it's a diode.
Diode laser, okay.
Thing. Yeah. But they have a 2.8 watt. I think they have a 2 watt, a 2.8 watt, and a 3.8 watt. And then he emailed me today, he said they're going to come out with a 6 watt. But I'm thinking that I'd really like to have one of those to see, show people how you can use that as a laser engraver with the GarageWorks CNC.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, one of the members of the Joe's CNC forum has a YouTube channel, CNC Nuts, N-U-T-Z, and he developed a similar thing, what he called his laser shoe that goes on the end of the router, and it's a diode-based laser, and you can do some engraving with that. So it's really a nice little attachment. So yeah, it's getting there where you can make these machines do multiple things.
Yeah, I have always wanted to put some kind of a laser on one of my machines. But again, it's like you gotta wait for the price of things to come down. Mm-hmm. And then when I watched that show the other night, and he was talking about what they are, and I went to the website, and I'm thinking, wow, they're affordable now, or at least for my pocketbook anyway. So I'm still trying to make up my mind which size I want to get, but I've been talking with Jay, and hopefully we'll get one very soon to put on that little demo machine I'm working on right now.
Yeah, when we get done with the podcast, if you could shoot me a link to that information, I'll include it in the show notes for this episode. Folks can go and check it out and maybe watch that episode.
All right.
Yeah, excellent. What's next after the GarageWorks? What are you thinking? What direction you're moving in?
Well, I don't know. It kind of just depends on where this takes me. Like I said, the initial response to the machines has been good. Like I said, I've already got a waiting list of 5 on that one machine, already sold a few of the others. And I don't know, I kind of just want to see what else I can do with the machine. Like I may try to design as I mentioned before, I made a little prototype rotary axis type thing out of MDF and some stuff. I may try to design something, there where that can be an add-on to the machine. The laser thing is another thing. I don't know. I just never know what I'm going to end up doing, because a lot of times when people will email me or make comments and say, well, could you do this? And I'm like, oh man, there's no way in heck I'm going to do that, But then you have enough people ask you, and then you're like, well, maybe I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, and one thing for sure, if somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm probably going to try to do it. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, for right now, I'm just trying to put together some good little DIY kits for people that want a CNC in their shop.
Okay. So if people want to see what you're talking about in this new machine, what website do they go to?
It's www.garageworkscnc.com. And there's also a GarageWorks CNC YouTube channel. I created a separate channel, basically to use that channel to post the videos. Like I've got I think I've got like 9 videos. Well, I've got more than 9, but I've got 9 videos showing how to put one together.
Now,
go ahead.
Quick question: is it GarageWorks with a K?
No, it is. It's actually GarageWorks with an X.
All right, very good. And sorry, you were working on putting one together. You said in the videos. Yeah,
when I first built that little demo machine, the 24 by 18, I thought, well, as soon as I start putting this on the website, people are going to want to know how to put it together and stuff like that. So what better way to show people how to put it together than to just shoot YouTube videos? So I spent a whole day one Saturday, and of course, because of that, I had to take the machine back apart. I've had it apart together and apart for I don't even know how many times, because the first time I put it together, it wasn't even painted. I wanted to put it together and make sure it worked, and it did. So then I took it back apart, painted it, and then assembled it to shoot a video of it running, and then took it back apart again, and then did videos showing different steps of how you put the thing together. And I think there's like 9 videos up there on the website. So if somebody buys one of these and they're not good at looking at drawings or plans, and because some people just aren't, they're more visual. They want to see how to do it. So you can go up there to the website and check out those videos and watch whatever step you're on, and it shows you how to put it together.
Did you start out to become an entrepreneur?
No. No, I was like I said, when I got ready to do the YouTube thing, I just thought, well, I might as well try it because I'm out here doing stuff in my shop anyway. So let's just throw a camera up and see what happens. And then, when you start seeing some people actually watching your videos, you get more than 10 views or something. Mm-hmm. Then you go, well, maybe I could make a little money at this, but, I don't try to, I wouldn't say I'm a YouTube entrepreneur. I'm I do sell plans and things like that, other plans. And, that does way better than, what revenue I get from YouTube. So, mm-hmm. But, like I said, no, I did plan on being an entrepreneur. And if it turns out that way, that's great. But, like I said, I just enjoy making CNCs, and I like, like I said, when I would do the video, YouTube video, and somebody would make a comment, I could just tell they're so envious because, they want a CNC and maybe they just, they can't afford any of the, the really, I'm not going to mention any of the names, but the ones I'm talking about, they're great machines, but they're not really for somebody to put in their garage.
Right. They're lower end industrial.
Yeah.
machines,
Yeah. And I don't know. I just thought, well, maybe the time is right because I'd had so many people ask me about cutting the other parts for them. I go, maybe the time is right to try to get back into it. But I didn't want to build up, the way I did it before. I'd get parts from my fabricator and I ordered everything, and I put every single one of those machines together and ran them and tested them, and then I would take them all back apart and crate them up. And I did that for 3 or 4 years with pretty much by myself. Work a full-time job, then come home, go out in the garage and build a couple of machines. So, but yeah, this time I thought I really don't want to get into building everybody's machine. I just want to design a DIY kit, know that it works, and be able to send them that and let them put in the sweat equity of putting it together, which, kind of like an X-carb, I guess, because X-carb comes in, a bunch of pieces and stuff. But, I think you'll probably agree, Bill. I think people learn more about their machine if they put it together themselves or build it themselves.
Yeah, there's something said about knowing where every nut, bolt, and washer and bearing is on a machine. When something breaks, it's much easier to fix it.
Absolutely, yeah, and of course, shipping is another issue too. If you build a machine, complete, and then somebody wants to buy it, but they want it shipped that way. I mean, it's ridiculous the shipping for to truck it out somewhere like that. So, I just wanted to be able to make kits that were small enough that I can, still build wooden crates to put them in, but it'll be manageable crates where you can ship them UPS and not have them real super heavy. And then people can put the thing together themselves. And my machines, I don't know if you've watched the videos or not, but my machines are really very simple to put together. You can use a screwdriver and, a wrench and, maybe an Allen wrench here and there, but there's really nothing difficult. At least I don't think so, of putting anything together. If you know which end of a screwdriver to pick up, you can put one of my machines together.
It's funny. I don't think there is, well, there may be one or two, but there can't be very many machines in this size range that ship fully assembled because of the shipping requirements. I mean, you get a machine, if it goes over 50 pounds, now you're going freight because UPS won't deal with it, or things like that. So, it makes good sense to have a kit. When you look at it, I think maybe Probotics might be the only one that ships an assembled kit, but then you pay, shipping on that.
Yeah.
So, but the X-carb, the Ciapoco, all of those machines, they're kits, and you put them together.
Yeah. And the other thing too is not just the cost of the shipping, but if you tried to, like if I tried to ship one of my machines fully assembled, you would have to build like a indestructible crate to get it there in one piece. Because I found the bigger and heavier something is, the more likely it is to get damaged.
Yeah.
Like I said, even when I was selling the older Sidewinder steel machines, like you said, I think the UPS limit then was 70 pounds. So, the whole machine was, a couple 100 pounds. So I would have to build separate little crates and made sure I kept it under, about 50 to 60 pounds. so that it, they could handle it and also hope that it wouldn't get destroyed going where it was going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to bring in a foam cutter a long time ago from overseas, and it was always hit or miss whether it would arrive undamaged, no matter how we created it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, it just one more cost of doing business, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and knowing that ahead of time really really helps a lot, because if you think that you're going to put it in a little cardboard box and send it across country, you're mistaken.
You are sadly mistaken.
Yeah. So, Mark Lindsay is one of the builders who's built one of your machines and one of your rabid fans. I don't know if you're.
I have to give a shout out to Mark Lindsay. He is probably my number one fan. He's been with me a long time subscriber, always positive comments. And he, like I said, he's one of those guys. I've never met him, never really talked to him on the phone or anything, but I know he's a great guy just from the conversations we've had on Facebook and YouTube and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I met him through Facebook as well, and it's apparent to me he's a really stand-up guy. I really like chatting with him, and
I believe, Bill, he's one of them. I don't know if he's ever completed it or not. I think he did.
But I think he just did.
He built the machine, and then I believe he was cutting the parts with that machine to replace, so he'd have CNC cut parts.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he's finished that yet or not. I believe he has.
Yeah, because I knew he just got software to do that with, and if he is not done, he's working on it. So yeah, he's very very into the machine. The plywood machine is what he's working on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, excellent. I tell you, this has been great talking with you about your projects, Dave. I really have enjoyed getting to know you through this episode, and I hope the listeners find it as interesting as I did.
Well, I hope so. I've enjoyed meeting you this way too, Bill. I feel, like I said, I feel kind of like I know you a little bit because I've listened to your podcasts and watch your Facebook posts and stuff like that. So I was really felt kind of humble when you asked me to be on here, actually, because I'm just happy to do it.
Well, it was my pleasure. I mean, your demeanor online is very humble, very helpful to the beginner. You always go the extra mile to answer up their questions and not condescend, and that is a rare thing, and it's a much appreciated thing. So I just knew if you had that sort of spirit on Facebook when everybody's watching, that just talking with you in person would be even better.
Oh, well, thank you, Bill. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So how can people get in touch with you?
Well, several ways, I guess. Of course, I'm on Facebook as Dave Gatton Sidewinder CNC. They can go to, I have two websites. I actually have a www.cncsidewinder.com website. I've had that one for years, so they could go there and hit an email link there, or they could go to the newer website, the www.garageworkscnc.com, and of course there's email links there. Of course I'm on YouTube, 2 different channels there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hard to find if somebody's looking for me.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to seeing how things develop with GarageWorks and watching the YouTube channel. I'm just looking forward to seeing what you're up to.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me on, Bill. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Dave.
You probably do, I guess, I don't know how you missed the stuff on Facebook. But, I said I built that first machine, the demo out of the 24 by 18.
Mm-hmm.
It's in my shop, sitting right in the middle of my shop right now. And, of course, I have already shot videos of it running for the website, and I've already shot the videos of how to put it together and everything. And I don't really think I have to keep it around to shoot any more video or anything like that. And I thought about, well, now it's in the way. I got to move this thing, and I just don't have room for another CNC, and I don't need another CNC.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided I was going to do a giveaway on that little demo machine. And what I'm going to do, and like I say, I don't know, maybe if I'm repeating myself, you already know this, just stop me. But
nope.
I'm usually one of the panel members on Russ Clarity's Let's Talk Shop with Russ show.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Saturday nights from 8 to 9 o'clock. So I messaged Russ and I said, hey, Russ, I said, I'm thinking about the CNC machine I got. I said, instead of trying to just sell it or, offer it as a discount, as a demo or whatever, I think I'd like to just give the thing away. And he goes, well, yeah, that's cool. And I said, yeah. But I think I want to do it with a live drawing on your show. And he thought about it. And he goes, wow, that's a great idea. So I put out a video, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago or whatever. And that's what I'm going to do. I've actually built one of those little, I don't know what you call it. It's like a barrel cage where you put all the entries in and you spin it around, and then you can reach in there and draw one out. But anyway, so I'm going to do a giveaway live on Russ's show on February the 13th, which is still not quite 3 weeks away, about 2.5 weeks away. And so far I've got 600 entries on that thing. So
that's awesome.
That'll be pretty exciting, I think, to do that drawing live on the show. And part of the rules of the contest is that you have to be present to win, only you have to be watching the show. So when we announce the name, we'll look for the comments in the chat room to see if that person is watching the show. So, but that's just one thing. And I we don't really have to talk about that. I didn't know when you were going to air this because I thought, well, you may not air it till after that drawing's over. So I won't say anything about it. But
no, you should always bring things like that up. It may help me change the order of some shows. Because it's a time sensitive thing. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I recorded that. By the way, I'm
really excited about it. I think I'm probably more excited about it as the people that's entering. But I really, when Russ asked me, he says, "Well, when do you want to do the drawing?" Because he was thinking next week or the week after or something. And I'm like, no, I really want to give it plenty of time to get some entries, because I was thinking, I didn't want to build this barrel thing to spin entries around and have 10 or 12 entries in it. I wanted it to have a bunch of entries. And little did I know, within 24 hours, I had almost 150 entries.
So how are the people entering?
They can go to the website, the GarageWorks CNC website, and there's a page on there, or on the home page, there's a link up there that says GarageWorks CNC Giveaway. And they click on that link, and then there's just a little form they fill out where they put their name, their address, their phone number. I don't know what all else they got on there. Let's see. Yeah, basically that's it. First name, last name, mailing address, their email address, and their phone number. And, and then they submit that entry, and it comes to me in email, and then I cut and paste it, put it in a spreadsheet where I can print out about 10 or 12 of them on a sheet of paper, and then I'm cutting them all up and going to put them in that thing for a random drawing.
Now, it begs the question how you'll verify that they're actually there, but they'll have to respond to you, I guess.
Well, the show that Russ does, like I said, I'm always a pretty much always a panel member there. It's basically a Google Hangout. So there'll be 10 people in that, max of 10 people in that Hangout. But it streams live on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And there's a chat section in YouTube where people can comment.
Yeah.
So, we know there's like a 30-second lag between the live Google Hangout and what the actual YouTube live stream is. But, we're going to, when we draw a name, we'll give them like 2 to 3 minutes to put a comment in the chat section there saying, hey, I'm here, I'm watching, and whatever. And then, of course, I've got their phone number where I can call and verify that way as well. So, but
sounds like fun.
Should be a fun night. I'm really looking forward to it because I told Russ, what will really be the most fun for me is when we start that show, and we're going to do the drawing towards the latter part of the show. It'll be fun to look and see on the YouTube because you can actually look on there and see how many people are watching. Mm-hmm. And typically Russ has anywhere from, I don't know, maybe 30 to 50 people that watch it live. And then, of course, once it's over with, it's then on YouTube as a video where you can just go back and watch it again. Mm-hmm. So it will be interesting to see how many, like I said, we still got almost 3 weeks to go, and I've already got about 600 entries. So it will be really exciting to see how many people tune in to watch that night.
It shall be, and I'm hoping it doesn't turn into a marathon of ticket pulling.
I don't think it will. Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, but I told Russ, because we were trying to decide, it's an hour show, and we were trying to decide when we needed to start the drawing. And I said, you want to try to make people hang around for your show and get lots of viewers and everything. But I says, we also don't want to wait until like the last 3 minutes either. I says, because just in case, the first name I pull out and they're not, there's no reply or response, I said, we need to pull another one. So hopefully we won't have to run over too long. But I think we're going to start the drawing probably midway through the show, about 30 minutes in. Mm-hmm.
I often mention many different types of software during the episodes and hardware and cutters, and it can get a little confusing. So what I did was I put together a page on my website, cncroutertips.com/resources. And on that page, I list all sorts of resources there, from books to tools to software, all the things that I use that make my CNC experience better and easier. And I hope you'll check it out. So again, it's cncroutertips.com/resources. All right, there you have it. Our talk with Dave Gatton of GarageWorks CNC. I hope you enjoyed that episode. And please remember that he's giving away a free CNC router table on his show on February the 13th, 2016. Now, if you want a link to the sign-up information for that, you can go to cncroutertips.com/freecnc. That's cncroutertips.com/freecnc. And I'll have a link there and also in the show notes that will take you to the sign-up page. If you like this episode, please leave a rating or review on iTunes. There's also information in the show notes on how to do that. Now, the way you find the show notes for this episode, episode 26, is to go to cncroutertips.com/26. The numbers 2 and 6. That's cncroutertips.com/26. Now, if you'd like to have your question featured on the air, here's how. Need help? Ask me about your CNC router question on my podcast, the CNC Router Tips Podcast. I'll be glad to help or try and get you the help you need. I want this podcast to be a fun and personal experience for everyone and helpful. So let's keep it real and ask sensible questions. Please use common sense and show courtesy to everyone. That way everybody wins. Here are some guidelines to ensure that your question is qualified to be featured on the show. Please keep your questions under 1 minute in length. If it goes a little over that, that's fine, but don't ramble. If you have a website and URL, you're allowed to share it, but only once during the recording. Spammy or disrespectful or deeply private questions will not be considered for the podcast. If you need to ask more than one question, just make each question a separate voicemail. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in and listening to the CNC Router Tips podcast. If you'd like to join our free mailing list, you can go to CNCRoutertips.com. There's a link right there on the top of the page, which tells you how to do that. Thank you so much and have a great day.